Hey yo, what up? Welcome to Black Savage Entertainment. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and turn your notification bell on. Yo, in this video, we got Wack 100 addressing the Larry Hoover snitch paperwork that was leaked online shortly after he received a presidential pardon from President Trump for his 6 life sentences. Now, Wack 100 goes off defending Larry Hoover tooth to nail after these snitch allegations and paperwork leaked online, suggesting that this is nothing more than a smear campaign to tarnish Larry Hoover's reputation and image, and us as a black people, we should not stand for this. We should protect Larry Hoover and don't even feed into this snitch narrative that the media is trying to push on him. So let's hear what Wack got to say about this. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get it.
Oh, Ebony in here?
Ebony in here. I seen her. I don't know. Ebony.
Yo, so
Yes, I'm here.
you got that, whatever that is they dropped saying Larry Hoover told in 1968?
Yes, I do.
Can you read that real quick?
Yes. Okay, so this is what they dropped. It says Parker High School, located at 6800 Stewart Avenue, was the scene of a youth gang battle on September 4th, 1968. A leader of the Supreme Gangsters, 18-year-old Larry Hoover of 6853 Green Street, informed the police that he was standing in the school hall just outside of the principal's office when 2 of the East Side disciples appeared. These boys, James Highsmith, age 18 years, of 6534 Emerald Avenue, and Leonard Longstreet, age 20 years, of 633 West 62nd Street, were not students at Parker High School. Hoover related that the 2 walked past me in the hall and Highsmith smiled. Then Longstreet said, "Burn 'em," and Highsmith pulled a gun and started shooting. I got hit. Bullets also struck 2 bystanders. Mildred Sievels, age 15 years, of 7214 Peoria Street, and Lewis Jackson, age 15 years, of 6815 May Street. All 3 Parker High School students were shot in the leg and were rushed to St. Bernard's Hospital for treatment. Only minutes after the shooting, police officers arrested Highsmith and Leonard Longstreet. At the time of Parker High School battle, Longstreet and Highsmith were at liberty on bond awaiting trial on 2 separate shootings that occurred earlier in the summer. At the same time, the police also arrested 17-year-old Gregory Williams of 6538 Morgan Street, who was carrying a pistol in the Parker High School hall. Williams was a member of the Supreme Gangsters. A Cook County grand jury subsequently returned an indictment number 68-3443, which charged James Highsmith and Leonard Longstreet with aggravated battery on Larry Hoover. Preliminary hearings on the case were held in the courtroom of Judge David Serta on September 17, 1968. Attending the hearings was Vicky Berry, age 16 years, of 6629 South Morgan Street. Vicky Berry was a member of the Supreme Gangsters, of which Larry, and then it cuts off right there.
So what? So this supposed to be paperwork and documents, right? That's what this supposed to be, a court report, a police report? Ebony, this supposed to be a police report?
I just got this article. I'm not sure exactly if it's a police report, but it looks like somebody's reporting on the actual incident.
Well, here's the thing, right? In order to get police reports, court paperwork from 1968, it's probably available, but you would have to go down there in person and request it. And that shit is probably held in some type of library somewhere, right? Now,
Right. I would think so. They
yeah,
did give a the actual what is it? They gave that number out, which was the indictment, it says the Cook County Grand Jury subsequently returned an indictment number 68-443, which charged James Highsmith and Leonard Longstreet with aggravated battery on Larry Hoover. So,
So now these individuals, we talk about 1968. We talking about the height of all these organizations being established. We talking Black Panther area. Pizza might be here or something. I don't know. We talking about the height of a lot of things, right? So when we dealing with this, right? Larry Hoover go to jail, I believe, in 75. So we talking about 7 years. This just me. Ain't no way from 68 to 75, his growth years to becoming who he is to his organization, his clique, his crew, whatever they want to call it back then. We know Mr. Hoover don't represent that today. But I find it hard to believe it was a shooting and some dudes was incarcerated and they still put this man in position to be who he is. He goes to prison.
and he went in 73. So, shoot, that was
So
even 2 years.
73. So we like 68. That's 5 years. He goes to prison. When he gets to prison, he's who he is. You hear nothing of it. That piece is gonna be coming in a minute. You hear nothing of it. In prison, his growth in prison, and back then it was some of the most deadliest, dangerous times, I'm sure. You hear nothing of it then. 10 years, 20 years, he catch fed time, life sentences. He goes to the feds, you hear nothing of it then. 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 52, 53 years. You hear nothing of it until 24 hours after a pardon. So my question is, who went down or had knowledge of the court building and requested these documents? We need to know where that person is.
Right.
Because without that person, I'm going to call it cap. I'm going to call it, it took 53 years, no, 58 years, the 5 years he was on the street, the 53 he been confined, for this to pop up. Okay, a lot of these people might not be alive, but shit, where they family members at? Where's the chatter of this at? Where I have heard nothing about it. 24 hours after Larry Hoover been pardoned by Trump on the Fed side, all of a sudden, some alleged snitch paperwork pops up from 1968. I ain't buying it.
Me neither,
I'm gonna
Wack.
tell you what this is. This is a plot and ploy to try to get Larry Hoover assassinated before they release him from them state facilities. They're trying to plant a seed right now with them youngsters, plant a seed right now in that state facility for somebody who may want to get a rep, might want to get a rep, and have an excuse of doing it. Send Mr. Hoover in his 70s to this state facility where he can finally go outside and get some fresh air and use one of these people, these youngsters, to assassinate him because they couldn't do it. You gotta ask yourself, why now? They said he's gonna be transferred in the next 2-3 weeks, right?
Yep, they transferred him already. He at Dixon right now.
Okay, so now he's wide open. He ain't ADX where you can't get to him, right?
Facts.
Okay, so now he's wide open. Hey, listen, all you youngsters out there, in that Illinois state, don't fall victim to it. They trying to get you to do that dirty work. This man has been too high profile. The government, the FBI, would have released this shit. Now I don't know who behind it. Your pizza for y'all. But it must be somebody behind it because you're not gonna get me to believe the 5 years he was out from 68 to 73, nobody knew about this. From 73 to I think 97 is when he caught his Fed shit. So we got 83, 93, 24 years in the state. Nobody knows about this. He's rising to his height. These dudes he the toll on, Larry Hoover went to jail and he was 24 years old on this situation. Them dudes would have spoke on this. That nigga told on us. It would have been out there somewhere, somehow, some way. Fuck it. We know a lot of them might be dead now, but what happened 24, 34, 44, 54, 60? What happened in the last 50 years from his youth to him being an elderly man? 24 hours after a pardon where they got to move him from a federal facility to a state facility, all of a sudden, some snitch paperwork comes out from 1968, which is only what could only be obtainable from the archives if you go to the court building to request it, and you would probably have to be an attorney and or those individuals that were part of the case to get this paperwork. All of a sudden, is up and is out. Nah, nah, and I'm quick to jump on this. And all y'all know, hey, listen, I've been catching the flack for being, I don't know what they say. I just been speaking my truth. But in this situation right here, I believe this is a plot and a ploy to poison some of them people's minds in the state facilities who may be a part of and or against whatever organization Larry Hoover stood for and represented originally, which we know he has denounced it all. So you may have some people got some ill feelings about that who don't understand the political stance on why he had to do that. I don't see that as a weakness. I see that as a strategic move. But let's look at the facts. Somebody need to first show us the receipt of going to order this shit from the archives of that Illinois court. It gotta be a body that says we're the one that went and requested it. You ain't just pulling this off the internet. No. Even if you go look up, on Google, are court documents from 1968 available out of Illinois court? Yes, records from 1968 would likely be available for Illinois court cases, but through access might be limited and may require in-person visit. 24 hours after his pardon, 24 hours after his pardon, Larry Hoover's a snitch. This coming from me, Wack 100. Anybody running this narrative against Larry Hoover, you should be considered the opposition. Your motherfucking ass is going against the grain, and you should be punished to the maximum extent by whatever group, city, state, or organization that shall dictate that. Now, this is the time for the people to stand up. If this was your father, your grandfather, your elder, who done did 53 years clean, state and fed time, walked off 20 plus in the most notorious prison, ADX. This is where El Chapo at, the Unabomber, the Boston Marathon bomber, the worst of the worst. Ain't broke, ain't cracked, continued to deliver messages to the people to try to right his wrong. We get a renegade president in there that didn't mind doing what's right for our side of the track, and in 24 hours, alleged snitch paperwork from 1968 all of a sudden appears on social media? Nah, this is when we supposed to unite. This is when we supposed to stand up and beat our chest and say we ain't hearing it. Everybody in them state facilities, wherever Larry Hoover may be, this shouldn't be a discussion. This shouldn't be a conversation. This shouldn't be a chatter. This shouldn't be no questions asked. When y'all see this man, this shit shouldn't even be acknowledged. I ain't never seen this type of foolery or fuckery in my life. This is an attempt on that man's life, and I urge everybody to petition because now this is the real reason on why they need to let that man go, because they are trying to put this man's life in jeopardy by releasing these documents. Somebody need to trace back and see who released this document, right? I'm pretty sure you will find that it's a forged document. I'm pretty sure that you will find that it's not authentic. I'm pretty sure you will find that it's gonna lead back either to a troll, a op, or the motherfucking government. Either way, we need to disregard this shit like it never happened. On a hundred side floor, I would appreciate it if this is never brought up again. We don't talk about it. We don't discuss it. Anybody that represents me, that stands with me, that moves with my movement, I would ask that you take this recording, you spread this recording. Other than that, we ain't showing no support or no representation for slandering this man's name with these false allegations. Anybody on the floor want to speak? I'll mute up.
Hey, Wack, do you think somebody really gonna try something though? Do you feel like somebody in that state pen gonna try something about this shit though?
What was that? Did you ask me a question?
Yeah, nah, I said, do you think somebody in that state pen gonna try to make this a reason to try to do something to that man?
Bro, I think that's why they released it. You know, we got fools, we got idiots, we got imbeciles, we got people looking for a rep. And believe it or not, although some people may love Larry Hoover, there's the other side of his movement that dislikes Larry Hoover. You know, it's no different than Tukey Williams being who he was, may he rest in peace, being released to General GP, and somebody releases something like this on him, and the blood feel like I'm gonna take my shot and stabs him. He gonna always have a rep. Now, those of us that have been living long enough know that that rep ain't gonna be worth nothing. But of course, everybody ain't thinking. You got dope fiends, you got dummies that'll take this shit and run with it. Those dudes that's on that yard need to make sure they put a wall in a circle around Mr. Hoover and protect him. Because you never know what dumb motherfucker may want to take the shot and use this as his reason of doing this type of shit. I mean, we talking about to obtain the paperwork from 1968, bro. It'll take a nigga damn near a year to get it, if they have it.
You know, this could be
He
them
gone
federal
already.
prosecutors from Chicago, because you know them federal
He in
prosecutors
the
from
state already.
Chicago did not want him out.
Hell yeah, they didn't want him in that federal. Nigga, you are, listen, you ain't on responsibility. Transpac.
Oh, so they already released.
He already in the state.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so now they released this shit where he's probably in an open area.
Oh.
Yeah, he already gone.
Oh shoot.
It's crazy. They didn't even let they didn't even let this man bask in his glory for a day. Snitch paperwork out on Larry Hoover. Yeah, and motherfuckers just holler like this type of shit. Nah, man, that's some bullshit. You wouldn't even have access to that type of shit. Where these victims at? Where these dudes that did this time at? Any of the family members? Show us what legal entity, what attorney's office used their credentials to go down there and file to get this paperwork. Show me. I got to see that.
That's crazy.
I don't believe it. I believe it's a plot and a ploy to get one of them dummies and that's on the state chart who want to get a rep to try to do something to him.
That's cold blooded.
It's the world we live in. Floor is open for questions. Yeah, this is crazy. I ain't never seen nothing this crazy. I mean, goddamn it, I know they think we fools, but we just can't play the fool.
Right.
So
You
you
know,
saying you think when somebody put this out, so that way when they move them over there to Illinois,
think about it.
okay,
53 years. 5 years prior to that, he on the streets. He from 18 to 23, he on his rise in the street. Nigga, back then, them niggas would have blew your brains out, bro.
And they wouldn't even have let him make the gangster disciples if he was really that. You know what I'm
They
saying?
wouldn't allow none of that. He wouldn't have had no positioning, no nothing, bro. He went to jail at 24. So whoever he did this here with, I'm pretty sure they around the same era, same age, give or take. So you telling me nobody sounded the trumpets? Nobody sounded the alarm? He kept attention on him. He on the yard moving the way he moving for him to catch his life sentences he called to be sent to the federal penitentiary. It ain't like he in that motherfucker quiet. But I want to know who used their credentials to go down to that courtroom and pull some documents on a case they ain't got nothing to do with from 1968.
Yeah, that's my question.
That's where we at.
That's the whole
Fuck what
thing.
it talking about. Fuck what it reads. Because what it's talking about, what it's reading, is more than likely motherfucking manufactured.
yeah, that look like a newsletter. It don't look like no work.
That's my point. So they didn't move him to the state and they drop it. Lavish, 53 years.
And then check this out, right? Guess what page that was the first one that dropped it?
Who's that?
That's one of the biggest blogging pages in Chicago. Like for all the street shit. All the street niggas go to that shit. Like when a nigga die, he post all they shit first. He the first nigga got it when a nigga died in Chicago. That nigga been Squid Ape, he been around for a while. So
And
it's
guess
crazy
what?
that he got it
And,
first.
and guess what? Because guess what? If he drop it on some shit stationed in California, it probably won't reach the penitentiaries in Illinois.
Right.
All this shit is strategic bullshit. But some of us got voices out here. Some of us got some reach. You know what I'm saying? And my voice need to be heard. My reach need to be extended. Don't bond to the bullshit. It don't make sense. In order to obtain this, bro, nigga, you would need a legal office. And I'm gonna be real. You would have to be a family member or somebody directly involved for that legal office to even entertain going to file to get this. And when you file and got it, they would give you a cover page of receipt. Where is it at?
Yeah, it don't see no statement or nothing like that. It just that shit don't look official at all. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, it ain't. Yeah, where it's at. My thing is this: this ain't to prove he didn't do it. We know he didn't do it. My whole thing is y'all don't fall victim and feed into the bullshit. Soon as he hit the state facility, they dropped this. And some of these people will hear about it, read about it, hear half the story, and run with it. Yo, Lavish, you know what it would do to that old man for him to be sitting in the cell, just getting there on intake, and a young nigga walk by and call him out his name?
Oh yeah, he gonna go off.
I don't believe I don't believe he didn't experience no shit like that. Nah, people, Illinois, youngsters, Muslims, all groups, y'all need to stand with that man and make sure them goofies, them dummies, make sure they ain't got no action, no action, of taking a shot at that man. That man in his 70s, he on his way out. Let that man make it to his family, man. This shit's some bullshit if I ain't never heard it.
Shit, well you caught it. Shit, before they ship him, you caught it to get
Hey,
the
Wack, when
message
they get
out.
to the bottom of this shit and niggas really figure out where exactly this shit started from, I guarantee you this shit gonna have something to do with either the federal prosecution team in Illinois that prosecuted him or the state prosecution team that prosecuted him, bro.
Whatever it is, we're gonna let them deal with they whatever it is, we're gonna let them deal what they deal with. Our people need to unite and not entertain the shit. Period. If they feel they wanna come with more documents to prove their point, so be it. I doubt they gonna do it because I don't think it's real. Right now, our whole position should be, hey, we silent to that. We're not hearing that. That's 1968 paperwork. There's no receipt that people went down there and filed to get the paperwork. We don't know where it come from. The so-called victims and people that was told on in the paperwork, they ain't nobody heard a peep out of them in 58 years. At this point in time, it should be no question, no conversation about it. That man shouldn't be bothered with this shit. No looks, no bullshit. Let that man do his time. Let his process continue to work and let that man come home. That's where I'm at with it. Now, if somebody else got a stance against it, the floor is open. I can't shut it down. I'm all ears, and we can debate it.
All right, man, that's pretty much the end of the content, man. Y'all got to let me know how do y'all feel about this snitch paperwork being leaked online shortly after Larry Hoover received his presidential pardon. Do y'all agree with Wack 100's stance on this, that this is just a smear campaign? This may have been leaked by the media or even a prosecution team who was upset about Larry Hoover receiving his presidential pardon, which vacated his 6 life sentences. Now, he still has some state time to do, so there's a lot of speculation going around that this was leaked in an effort to try to get Larry Hoover harmed, because a lot of people in prison, they don't agree with the whole snitch jacket. So if somebody is exposed for snitching, especially somebody as reputable as Larry Hoover, a high-ranking gang leader of the Gangster Disciples, a former gang leader of the Gangster Disciples, if somebody of that stature has been identified as a snitch, somebody might take it upon themselves to inflict harm on this person in order to get a rep for themselves, get some clout off Larry Hoover's name, or just to say, hey, I'm the one who killed Larry Hoover the rat. So Wack 100 saying we as a people, we should not even feed into this narrative, because Larry Hoover's been down 50 years. This is a man who dedicated his life to reform after he was convicted and sentenced to this time. He spent countless years writing books. He's been talking to youth. He's been pushing this whole reform. He's rehabilitated. He's even denounced against the disciples. So from Wack 100 stands, we need to band together to defend Larry Hoover against these allegations, and even the people in the prison shouldn't even pay this any mind, because this is just an attempt for somebody to do some harm to Larry Hoover based on this snitch allegation. Now, the document said that this snitch allegation is from like 1970 something, so it will be hard to obtain the actual documents I don't know if they were electronically filing things back in those times, so it might be hard to get the actual paperwork, but I don't think there's any truth to it because, like Wack said, he's been down for 50 years. We haven't heard anybody come forward. The people that he allegedly told on, they would have been came forward and spread this information. But I don't believe there's any truth to it because out of all this time, nobody has ever came forward. We haven't heard this ever about Larry Hoover. So for it to come out right after he got a presidential pardon seems a little bit too convenient. I definitely think it's a smear campaign. Me, myself, personally, I wouldn't care if he ratted on them or not because it's been 50 years. The man has rehabilitated his entire life. He's spent 50 years in jail. He's denounced the gangster disciples, so he's not even living or repping the street life anymore to that capacity. So in my eyes, I wouldn't care if he did it or didn't, but I don't believe there's any truth to this because so much time has passed and this is just now coming to light. So let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all agree with Wack 100's position on this, that we need to band together to protect Larry Hoover against these allegations and protect his legacy and all the work that he's put in since he's been behind them walls? So let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, turn your notification bell on, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace.